What's going on? I want to talk about today something that may be a little iffy or a little bit ruffle some feathers a little bit, but hey, that's what I'm here to do. I want to talk about the curse of a woman. Yep, I want to talk about the curse of a woman. And when I wrap this video up, hopefully you have a better understanding of what I mean by a sign that you're saved but still living a cursed life as a woman. You can be saved but still be living under the curse of a worldly woman. Now, we all know that in Genesis 3 and I believe 16 through 24, God is speaking about the curses that he did when he kicked Adam and Eve out the garden. But I'm going to specifically be more focused on right now, just for general purposes. For the purpose of the topic of what I'm talking about, speaking about the curse of a woman in the world. So what you have to realize is he said, I will multiply your pains in childbirth. And he also says your desire shall be unto your husband, and he will lord over you. Those words have caused a lot of argument between sexes. It causes a lot of women to reject having a covering over them. But before we get into that, I just want to say that I'm going to be talking about if you're saved, yet you're living as a cursed woman. And what I say by that is, we know that everything God has ordered, everything God has set in order is meant for our good for those that love the Lord and that are called according to his purpose. So whatever is looked at as a curse by the world, once we come over into God's side, should be looked at as a blessing. So when it says this, it says your desires will be unto your husband, meaning you are going to want to please your husband, but he's going to lord over you. The average woman, if you look at 2021 and the days we're living in, have fought so hard to prove that they are equal to men, to prove the equality of who they are with men. I can do anything a man can do. I can run races. I can play sports. I can do the job. I can take out the trash. I can do everything. I can protect the home. I can take care of bills. That's fine. Nobody ever said that you can't. But just because you can do something doesn't mean you always should. Just because you can do something does not mean you always should. But because your mind is so wrapped up in a curse, you can't see that what God has ordered was for your own good. You're blinded by the fact that you feel as though the man is lording over you. Now, we'll get into that topic later on, how man has abused that. We're not talking about today. I'm strictly dealing with women who are saved but still living a cursed life. Just because you can do something does not mean you should. Women have fought so hard for equality that I'm just as good as you. I'm just as big as you. I'm just as strong as you. I deserve equal pay. I deserve everything you get. That we've gotten to a point to where gender roles are conflicting with what God originally made. Nobody says that a man and a woman aren't equal, because when it comes down to it, we're both flesh wrapped around a spirit. Inside, we are both spirits. We were sent here with assigned roles, though. I was sent here to be a man. You were sent here to be a woman. I'm sent to be a man. You were sent here to be a woman. That's your assignment. If your mind is still trapped in the world, then you're always living under a curse of trying to prove how big, how bad, how strong, how bold, how much you can do. When you understand what God did, God gave you a covering. So the thing that the world looks at as a curse becomes a blessing to you. You understand that when you receive a man, that it becomes your covering, your protector, your teacher, your leader, the person that comes out into the forefront. Now, ladies, before y'all say anything, I understand that some men do not handle those responsibilities. Okay, cool. We're not talking about that. But for the most part, what I'm saying is, it wasn't meant to be that way. And right now I'm dealing with you ladies out there who may feel like I can do everything a man can do. And what I found is, for the most part, women want to do everything a man does until it isn't convenient for them or it doesn't benefit them. You're not meant to play the role that you weren't sent here to be. For this reason, you have people confused about whether or not they want to be a man or a woman. You have women that are being with women. Subject for another day. But when you're in God, that is no longer a curse. I'm mighty afraid that some women are living under a curse, but they calling themselves saved. Don't be a cursed woman of God walking around here like the world, constantly trying to prove yourself, constantly trying to be up in a man's face. Let a man be a man and you be who you were created to be, a woman. It doesn't make you any less greater. It doesn't make your spirit any less powerful. It doesn't make you any lesser than a person to fulfill your role. That's the problem we have in our churches. That's the problem we have in our workforce. That's the problem we have in our world. People don't want to do their job to fulfill their role. My finger cannot do what my eye can do. My finger does not see, my eye sees. Now what my eyes see and they want to attain, my hands can grab. They fulfill their role. I don't need my fingers to wake up tomorrow and say, I feel like I'm a mouth. Well, no matter how much my hands touch a hamburger, I can't taste the hamburger. I can't digest the hamburger without my mouth and my stomach. So women, quit living a cursed life. We are becoming a world that is increasingly more sinful and adulterous towards God, and that is part of it. When we don't accept God's divine order, when we don't accept the willful design that God sent you here as. So don't be a woman that's saved and living under the curse. Understand that a man's covering is good for you. And we're going to get on the man too. I promise you I will eventually do the live about a man and how he's supposed to live his life under God. And how he's supposed to love his woman like God loved the church. And his responsibility in all of this. But I'm just speaking right now to the women who are still living under the curse of the world, who are in marriages with godly men or in godly marriages, but bringing worldly concepts into godly marriages, bringing Oprah and Dr. Phil concepts into your godly marriage, bringing Steve Harvey concepts and philosophies into godly marriages, and wondering why things don't move and things won't shift and marriages won't mature and marriages are divorcing, because you're trying to bring worldly influence into a God institution and into a godly institution. So you got to be careful about that, women, because what God has set in motion, nobody can break those laws. Nobody can break those curses.